field hockey game between Gettysburg College Bullets and your Swarthmore College Garnet. And now for today's starting lineup. First, from Michigan Bullets, a sophomore forward from Denver, Colorado. Number 2, Haley Ryan. A freshman forward from Darien, Connecticut. Number 4, Brinkley Rush. A senior forward from Fairfield, Connecticut.
Good afternoon and welcome to Clothier Field, where the Swarthmore College Garnet field hockey team will look to improve to 7-2 as they take on the Gettysburg College Bullets in a Centennial Conference showdown. As I said, Swarthmore comes in today at 6-2 overall, 1-1 in the Centennial. The Garnet bounced back very nicely from their loss last week to number 2 Johns Hopkins by beating Muhlenberg 1-0 on the 29th. In that game, Deborah Kim scored her third goal of the season, which came midway through the second quarter and stood as the lone goal in the contest, giving the Garnet their 6th win in the month of September. Also in that game, freshman goalie Victoria Kimmel made 6 saves to record the shutout. And on the other side, Gettysburg also comes in with an identical record of 6-2. They're 2-0 in the Centennial. In their last game on the 29th, they knocked off Franklin and Marshall, who's ranked 14th in the country, by a score of 2-1. In that game, Gettysburg trailed 1-0 after a quick goal by F&M in the first quarter, but then Gettysburg came back with 2 goals in the fourth quarter to come back and steal that game from the 14th ranked Diplomats. Emma Bertrando, whose name you'll hear a lot today, scored the game-tying goal with 7:50 left in the game. And then Lauren Beccaria, whose name you'll also hear a lot today for Gettysburg, scored the game winner with just 4:10 left. Gettysburg ended up out shooting F&M 13-11 on that day, and it was their first win over a ranked opponent since September 5th, 2018, a 2-1 win over 17th ranked Catholic. So as both teams line up to take the field, Swarthmore will be going from right to left. They're in the home Garnet. Gettysburg in the away white, going from left to right, and we are underway with the flick into the Gettysburg defensive end. The starters for both teams, starting with Swarthmore in the back, Callie Cho, Grace Fuselier, Chelsea Semper, Samantha Meacock, and Anna Stankovsky. The midfield for the Garnet, Sophia Hitchingham, Deborah Kim, who, as I said, scored that game winner in the win over Muhlenberg a few nights ago, and Quinn Bazowitz. And up front, you have Catherine Cohn and Martina Campbell. And then on the other side for Gettysburg, Katie Schaefer, Noah Patochak, and Alyssa Ritchie make up their back line, as right now their back line has the ball. The midfield is Jenna Vadinsky, Emma Bertrando, and Henna Freeman. And 4 forwards for Gettysburg, Haley Ryan, Brinsley Rush, Christina Oreo, and Lauren Beccaria. And right now, Gettysburg controls in the midfield. That's Bertrando. Moving it up ahead into the offensive zone along the right wing. Beccaria. Now a pass in, ball being knocked around and cleared not well. And a shot in, that was Ryan missing wide. So an early chance here for Gettysburg. And Gettysburg will keep the ball as that was deflected out of play. So almost 2 minutes in, and the first good chance of the afternoon goes to the Bullets. So right now in transition, that was Cohn being stripped of the ball, but they quickly get it back. And now Rush controls. Trying to dance away from 2 Swarthmore defenders, can't do it. As Campbell came away with the ball, but her pass up ahead, looking for Cohn, picked off. And now we have a whistle and a foul. And I'll give the ball back to Gettysburg. Today's the 31st meeting between Gettysburg and Swarthmore. Gettysburg has dominated this series 22-8. However, Swarthmore in the last 2 years has started to take a little bit of control back as we have a whistle and a free hit here for Swarthmore. So we should expect to see a lot of offense today because in those last 2 meetings, both Garnet wins in 2018 and 2019 both came by a score of 3-2. And Swarthmore looking for their first 3-game winning streak against Gettysburg since the mid-90s, 1995, 1996, and 1997. It's Gettysburg controlling in the midfield with Beccaria, and Garnet quickly swarm her, but we get a whistle and a free hit upcoming. So Lauren Beccaria, one of the top players in the Centennial Conference, 5th in the conference in goals with 5, also 8th in the conference in points with 11. So she'll be a key for this Gettysburg offense and someone the Swarthmore defense will desperately try to stop. Swarthmore extremely good defensively this season. So it'll be interesting to see how one of the top offensive players in the conference does against a pretty good Swarthmore defense that is ranked 4th in the conference in goals against average at .97. As Gettysburg there tried to smash into the arc to get a deflection and a shot off, but it hit the foot of a Gettysburg player, giving the ball back to Swarthmore. And this will be Meacock putting the ball back in play for the Garnet. Smashes it right off a Gettysburg defender. That was Haley Ryan getting in the way of that. And for that bruise she'll surely have on her foot after that, it'll be a free hit for Swarthmore. So Meacock will play it back. And Swarthmore will look to reset, this time going along the far side. Pass into the middle, nearly intercepted. But Fuselier comes away with it, looking for somewhere to go. It's going to come near side for Hitchingham, and another whistle. And Swarthmore now looking to get a little bit of possession as we're almost 5 minutes into the first quarter. Gettysburg so far has the lone shot of this game, but now Swarthmore trying to look to get something going on offense. This is Baselowitz going into the arc. And we'll get a penalty corner. Our first one of the afternoon. Both these teams very good at getting penalty corners. Fairly equal in the amount they've both had this season. 88 for Gettysburg. Now for Swarthmore, this will be their 86th. And let's see what they can dial up on the first corner of the afternoon. It'll be from the far side. That'll be Chelsea Semper putting it back in play. She's got 3 Garnet up top. And she'll go to the right wing of the arc. And that was Meacock trying to sweep into the arc, but was denied by Gettysburg, and back come the Bullets in transition. Trying to get numbers 2-on-1. However, that pass a little too far up ahead for Freeman. And now Swarthmore will look to break back the other way. This is Cone with it, up ahead into the arc. And that took a bad bounce, it looked like, off the stick of Ritchie. It seemed like a basic enough play, but then the ball hopped over her stick and ends up out of bounds, giving it back to Swarthmore. And a good defensive play right there from Haley Ryan, dispossessing one of the Swarthmore forwards and giving the ball back to Gettysburg. Both these teams fairly even also in terms of their offensive output. So like I said, maybe a chance we'll see some goals in this, a fair amount of goals, I should say, in this afternoon's contest. Swarthmore comes in averaging 2.75 goals a game, slightly ahead of Gettysburg, who scores 2.63 goals. So both these teams do know how to put the ball in the back of the cage. As we're approaching the 8-minute mark of this first quarter and we're scoreless. And Swarthmore here getting the ball in the offensive third. Once again, try to get into the arc, can't do it. It looks like a free hit for Kim in the corner. And now Grace Twitchell, who checked in, gets the ball down low. Ball being poked around. Looked like Jackie Crowley got a stick on it. Might have put that on goal. But Gettysburg's able to clear. but not too far. Swarthmore works it back in. And now that's Batochak dribbling out of trouble and passing the ball back up. But again, not very far because Semper's there to intercept before it gets to the midway line. So again, Gettysburg with the early flurry to start this quarter, but now Swarthmore doing a tremendous job in possession, but trying to get something out of it, but again can't do it as Gettysburg clears. And Stankovsky will watch that roll out of play along that far sideline. Now Bazowitz controls. Tried to, again, dribble through two defenders, and Ryan's there to take it off her stick. Then she dribbles into trouble, but that's Hitchingham getting called for a foul, giving Gettysburg the free hit. And Swarthmore, 4 players surrounding her. She had nowhere to go with that ball, and now it's Crowley controlling for the Garnet. Has a player up ahead, tries to shoot it into the arc herself. Ball falls down. That looked like for Meacock. It looks like we'll have a corner here upcoming for the Garnet. So Swarthmore started their season with back-to-back victories, non-conference, over Widener and Arcadia. Then, after dropping a 3-2 game to Stevens, came back and put together 3 straight victories. As this ball's put in play, Kim with a shot from up top. Or pardon me, that was Campbell, and that goes up and over. So Swarthmore will get it here, but Gettysburg clears the immediate danger of that penalty corner. You can see both teams subbing now after that corner. An attempted shot into the arc there from Meacock, blocked and taken back the other way by Gettysburg. It's 2-on-5 right now. And those numbers don't really work too well as Bakari is dispossessed by Brooke Finley. And now it's Swarthmore going back on offense. Swarthmore in this quarter, as we have a shot here that goes wide, and it'll go to Gettysburg. Swarthmore doing a great job in transition defense and getting back. Pardon me, it'll be Swarthmore balls that one off a Gettysburg defender. And that's Fuselier passing it over to the far side. So Swarthmore doing a great job getting back in defense. And Gettysburg, again, not being able to get much done on the offensive end. As you see right here, Alex Wenz is able to take that ball away, but the quick foul by Meacock's going to allow Swarthmore to get back on defense, and there's nowhere to go now for Gettysburg. As an attempted pass up ahead is, once again, trying to go through 2 Garnet, and it's stolen away by Stankovsky. She tries to try to go upfield, turned it back over. But again, a pass too far from Rush, and it's Swarthmore in control. And right there, no real option, so just clearing it out of play and getting the defense set back up for Swarthmore. As Gettysburg tried to get it into the arc, but again, 3 Swarthmore players there, and they'll take it away with ease. And now we have a Swarthmore player falling down, and back come the Garnet, pardon me, the Bullets in transition. It's into the arc by Beccaria, and now back out, shot in, being bounced around. And Emily Hapgood's going to pick that ball up for Swarthmore. Try to pass for Alexandra Kelleher, but it'll go out of bounds, giving it back to Gettysburg. And Alyssa Ritchie will flick that into play. She was looking for Vadinsky, but instead found Swarthmore's defense. And now they'll try to break 4-on-4, but a foul called on Swarthmore. So now Gettysburg will take possession back just on the Swarthmore side of midfield, and they'll go backwards. Similar to what you see in soccer, as they'll try to work forward. And now going forward is Wenz. Trying to dribble around a defender, now is able to cut in. And good defense there from Heidi Van Horst. taking that ball away and forcing a foul. And once again, giving Swarthmore possession. And this will be Meacock putting it in play here on this near side. And she'll go back toward goal where Semper was standing. And now they'll go into the middle of the field with Fuselier. Now near side for Hapgood, nearly cut off. That was swarming defense from Rush. But it results in a Gettysburg foul. And Swarthmore trying to work quickly off the restart, but the umpire says, no, that's too fast. And we'll slow down the restart. So Meacock will have to do it again. Now with Gettysburg set in defense. And it looks like Gettysburg going with a 4-3-3 looking formation. Stepping in front of that pass was Patochak. But again, doesn't get very far. The Swarthmore defense, great. And stopping this Gettysburg transitions, the ball goes into the arc. Kicked, saved there. Now Finley gets it back. And the ball rolls over the end line. And this will go to Gettysburg. So Swarthmore able to get it down low, but not being able to find much with it. And so far, Besselman has been credited with 2 saves, relatively routine. And Kimmel has 1 for Swarthmore, that coming in the first 2 minutes of the game, as we're approaching the 1-minute mark of this first quarter. A quarter that you can say is primarily being controlled by the Garnet, with most of the play in the Gettysburg end, but so far just a couple of shots. And right there, Swarthmore looking for a foul. It doesn't look like they'll get it, but they will get the ball along the sideline in front of their own bench. And Meacock banked that off of Wenz's leg. And I'll put it in play again for the Garnet with 31 seconds left in this quarter. Ball goes in the arc. And that's going to be backhanded out by Sarah Scott. And Swarthmore quickly trying to put this ball back in play, approaching 15 seconds. And Besselman watches that roll over the end line. And that might be the final action of this first quarter, as Gettysburg doesn't look to be in a rush to put this ball back in play. Now 2 balls on the field, and that doesn't work. And that'll help Gettysburg end this scoreless opening quarter of play. So no score after 1. Swarthmore with 3 shots on goal, 3 shots in that opening quarter compared to 2 for Gettysburg. Swarthmore getting 2 of those on goal, both saved by Eileen Besselman. And on the other end, Gettysburg putting 1 shot on goal that was stopped by the freshman Victoria Kimmel. So we'll get ready for the second quarter of a scoreless first quarter. So far, everyone's through 2 games in the Centennial Conference. So the standings, they're a bit of a jumble to say, because there's not really much separation you can get after 2 games. But Gettysburg sitting on top, co-top with Johns Hopkins. Both of those teams 2-0. Ursinus and Washington College, both 1-0. Haverford, Bryn Mawr, Swarthmore, Dickinson all in a logjam for the 5th spot at 1-1. Then at the bottom, you have Franklin and Marshall, Muhlenberg, and McDaniel all sitting at 0-2. So Swarthmore, if they can get a victory in today's contest, they will match their win total from each of the last 3 seasons. When I was doing research for this game, I kept flicking the schedule back, and I'm thinking, is the schedule moving? I keep seeing the same record. Well, in 2019, 2018, and 2017, Swarthmore went 7-10 in each of those 3 seasons. So if they can get a win here today, they'll do something in 9 games that took them 17 games to accomplish in each of the last 3 seasons in getting to the 7-win mark. Swarthmore's last season at 500 was 9-9, and their last winning season came back in 2006 at 9-8. So with them in conference play, there's a very good chance they will get their first winning season in 15 years. And a win today will go a long way toward helping them do that if they can go to 7-2 with a crowded month of October still to come. As both teams get ready to take the field and begin the second quarter, staying on the same sides. And Swarthmore will start with the ball to begin this second quarter. And the whistle blows. There's the flick forward, and away we go. So it looks like Gettysburg staying with that three in the back, as does Swarthmore. As Gettysburg looks to break, but again, numbers not there. It was 3-on-6, maybe 7. So Swarthmore taking possession. Meacock stripped by Ryan. Now 2-on-2. Ryan cuts in. Ball's stopped there. And Swarthmore plays falling all over the place, and it will result in a penalty corner. So Gettysburg doing a good job there with the turnover. And they'll get their first penalty corner of the afternoon. This will be Charlotte Lacey putting the ball in play for the Bullets. And it looks like at the top of the arc, they've got Christina Oreo. And the ball go to the left wing, shot in. That gets blocked on the way through. And Swarthmore with the ball in play, able to get those masks off relatively quickly. That was quite impressive while trying to play defense, throwing that mask aside. But they'll have to put him right back on as there's another penalty corner for Gettysburg. Once again, that's Lacey putting the ball in play. This will come up top for Bertrando. Tries to dribble in, but too many Garnet sticks in the way. And that gets swept aside. That looked like Chelsea Semper doing the sweep job. And Semper will put it back in play for Swarthmore. And Semper tried a flick, but that's quickly intercepted. Dribbling through and scoring is Isabella Fragiomino. So the turnover results in a quick goal for Gettysburg. And the Bullets find themselves up 1-0. 13:34 left in the second quarter. So just waiting for confirmation. But it is 1-0 Gettysburg after the turnover by Semper. After Gettysburg's second penalty corner of this quarter, it is Fragiomino's second goal of the season. So after all that good work Swarthmore did on defense in the first quarter, they find themselves trailing. And that's a big first goal for both teams, actually, because Gettysburg, when they score first in the game, they're 4-0 this season. Swarthmore, this is just the second time so far through now 8 1/4 games that they've given up the first goal. And the only other time they've done that, they lost. And that came on the 25th of September when they lost to Johns Hopkins 2-0. So Swarthmore trying to do something here that they haven't had to do much of this season, and that's come from behind in a game. And we'll see how that goal changes the complex of this contest. Because now Gettysburg look to make a break. Trying to track that ball down. And now coming away with it was Freeman. But now a long pass up ahead for Swarthmore. Has Catherine Cohn trying to break. Defender falls down, trying to get in alone on the goalie. One-on-one, dribbles around Besselman. Shoots and scores. A great individual effort from Catherine Cohn gives her second goal of the season, and we are quickly level at 1 with 11:51 left in the second quarter. What a great individual effort after taking the long pass up, getting through 3 Gettysburg defenders, and then doing a great job of stick handling around Besselman, having the patience to do that, and then calmly finding that left corner as Gettysburg defenders tried to fill the void with Besselman down and out. But it's Cohn scoring now for the second time this season, her first goal since September 18th. And we are even at 1. So I mentioned Swarthmore having to come from behind. It didn't take him very long. So 1-1 here in the second quarter, as Campbell can't keep that in play. And Gettysburg trying to restart. Have a flick and looks like a whistle for a high stick on Lacey. But Gettysburg quickly getting the ball back once again. And nearly a good poke check there from Hitchingham, but Swarthmore called for the foul. But they'll control along the near sideline. And another foul. So Gettysburg will try to go back in the offensive end with Lacey putting it in play. But there was a strong stick there from Semper stealing it away. So Hitchingham trying to flick it in the middle of the field, doesn't get very far. Picked off by Bertrando. But as quickly as Gettysburg controls it, they're giving it right back to the Garnet. As Bazowitz dribbles across midfield and illegally dispossessed. Swarthmore looking to move quickly as Fuselight puts it back in play along that far side, and the ball goes over the end line. Looking like a pass intended for Cohn, but just off the mark. And Gettysburg control in its own defensive third with the flick knocked down. And that gives it back to Swarthmore. Stankowski goes far side with a pass. And now this is Bazowitz. The ball bounces into the arc, cleared out. And Cho controls. And it looked like that took a deflection. And it's Gettysburg ball. And Bertrando impeded as she was trying to break in transition. So Swarthmore, even when Gettysburg tries to get in transition, it looks to have something going. They're with a quick tactical foul, really slowing this transition game down. They haven't had much. And they have plenty of offensive weapons up front. And they've, outside of Bertrando, many of the other ones haven't been involved. Approaching the 8-minute mark of this second quarter. Swarthmore and Gettysburg tied at 1. Fuselier with the ball. Opts to go far side for Stankowski. And it looked like her pass went out of bounds. So now Gettysburg controls it once again, but not for long as they turn it right back over to Swarthmore. And they turn it right back because now both teams playing hot potato with the ball. So now Gettysburg will control after a Swarthmore foul. Swarming defense here as Van Horst gets her stick down, but a stick infraction called as she was trying to take the ball away from Patochak. As Patochak gets it here, tries to push it forward. And we get a foul on Gettysburg. Looked like that was on Fragimino. So now Swarthmore looked to break out. So after the 2 goals in quick succession, neither team really having much of a flow offensively. It's been a series of turnovers for about the past 3 minutes. And that was after a first quarter where Swarthmore controlled a lot of the possession. And there, a pass from Bertrando trying to find one of 2 Gettysburg offensive players in the arc goes astray. So Swarthmore controls once again. Gettysburg coming into this game has been alternating between win and loss for the last 5. After winning their 4th straight game to open the season against Cabrini, they lost to number 18 Susquehanna as Van Horst controls into the arc. Dispossessed, no call, shot, in goes wide. That one off the stick of Grace Twitchell. And Swarthmore will keep possession. So after the loss to Susquehanna, they go back in, they start conference play with a win over Bryn Mawr, then lose 6-3 to number 4 Kane before coming back to defeat Franklin and Marshall. As a shot here goes in. Great shot from that lacrosse circle. And that's Brooke Finlay with the turnaround shot, beating Besselman. And Swarthmore takes a 2-1 lead on Finley's 2nd goal of the season. Her first goal since scoring against Del Val, the game-winning goal in that game, back on September 18th. So Swarthmore at one point found themselves down 1-0, but have scored the last 2, and now have a 2-1 lead as we approach 5 minutes left in this first half. And both goals coming from players you may not expect, with Cone scoring her 2nd and Finlay with her 2nd of the season. You know, with players like Semple with 3, Martina Campbell with 4, and Deborah Kim with 3. But so far it's Cone and Finlay, and it's 2-1 Garnet. This is Wenz giving off into the center. And good defense there, drawing the foul on Gettysburg. And they're really frustrating majority of this Gettysburg offense. Hapgood's pass gets over to Van Horst. And now Crowley controls for Swarthmore going far side, where it cannot be tracked down. She was looking for Twitchell on that far side. And right there, Gettysburg not getting the restart right. Quickly turning it back over to Swarthmore. Under 3.5 minutes left in this opening half. And now Gettysburg is able to get on the break. But a bad pass there allows the Garnet to get back in transition, and away they go the other way. Van Horst comes near side for Hapgood. Has options up ahead. Picks out Kim. Kim going one-on-one, now one-on-two. And is dispossessed, and Gettysburg's only option was to have Ritchie throw it out of play. So good work there. As now Swarthmore is controlling in the corner. And Hapgood will come back and try to clear out some space. Meacock tries to blast in. Hits Bakari with the pass. And Gettysburg will control back in its defensive third. And right there, a tough pass intercepted easily by Twitchell. But her pass up ahead, quickly stolen. Now Gettysburg with the ball at midfield with 2 minutes left. Ball was controlled by Lafferty momentarily. And it looked like Potoczak was bodied off the ball. But Swarthmore can't control the possession. So Gettysburg will look to break out once more. That's Lacey getting around Hapgood. Now a pass up ahead. Wen's trying to track it down. Can't do it. So Swarthmore controls. Hapgood looking to go in the middle. And a foul on Bertrando. Giving it to Swarthmore. The clock ticks down closer toward a minute. And Samantha Meacock trying to figure out where to put this ball in the restart, and she'll go back with it for Semper. And now far side for Stankowski. Pass up ahead, stolen. Gettysburg looking to break in the final 45 seconds. But Wens can't do it. Has the ball stolen by Fuselier. And back comes Swarthmore looking to break. Hapgood tried to find Kim. Ball gets blocked out of bounds by Ritchie. 28 seconds left in the half. Backhand goes into the arc, and we'll get a foul and Gettysburg ball. 13 seconds. And it doesn't look like they're in much of a rush to put this ball back in play. They will with 5 seconds. It's Morgan Cherry controlling. Her pass blocked by Hapgood. And that's going to be the final play of this half. So after a scoreless first quarter, Swarthmore went down 1-0 on an Isabella Frogemani goal to begin the second quarter. But the Garnet fight back, getting goals from Catherine Cohn to tie the score at 1, and then one from Brooke Finlay to take a 2-1 lead going into halftime. We'll take a little break, come back with first half numbers and the start of the third quarter right after this. Swarthmore leads Gettysburg by a score of 2-1 as we get ready to start the second half here at Clothier Field. Gettysburg took a 1-0 lead a minute 24 into the second quarter on Isabella Fragimani's second goal of the season that put the Bolts ahead 1-0. But then Swarthmore came back with a pair of goals separated by just over 6.5 minutes. First, it was Catherine Cohn with a great individual effort on a breakaway for her second goal of the season, tying the game at 1. And then with 5:20 left in the half, Brooke Finley scored from just about the penalty spot with a turnaround shot to put the Garnet ahead 2-1. In what was a very closely contested opening half, a lot of transition back and forth, a lot of turnovers. But as far as shots go, not many. Swarthmore with 6 and Gettysburg with 4. Victoria Kimmel made 2 saves, one in each quarter during that opening half. And Eileen Besselman for Gettysburg with 2 saves, both coming in the opening quarter. So meanwhile, as we look around the Centennial, the third quarter is about to get underway. Dickinson knocked off Bryn Mawr earlier today by a score of 2-1. Muhlenberg bounced back from its loss to Swarthmore a few nights ago, knocking off McDaniel 1-0. Johns Hopkins moved to 3-0 in the league with a 2-1 win over Haverford as Gettysburg quickly gets the ball into the arc, and a shot there goes wide. That looked like it was coming off the stick of Fragimino. And also currently underway after 1 quarter of play, Ursinus and Washington College are level at 1. But here on Clothier Field, it's Swarthmore 2, Gettysburg 1. As both teams switch ends, so now it's Gettysburg in the white going from right to left. And Swarthmore in the home Garnet going from left to right as Gettysburg gets the ball in the arc. But coming away with the ball is Sophia Hitchingham with the steal. And back come the Garnet in transition. Looked like Cohn was making a run, but there was nowhere to go to find that lane with the ball. So Gettysburg will control along that far sideline. And a good block there. Well, maybe not, as they call a free hit. And putting it back in play was Alyssa Ritchie. As that shot there rings off the post and bounces away. That looked like it was Haley Ryan getting it across the far side. It looked pretty harmless. Nobody went to attack that far post, and it ended up bouncing off the post and ended up going out of bounds, giving the ball to Swarthmore. So the Garnet, early in this third quarter, catch a little bit of a break as they have a shot ring off the, well, I shouldn't say ring, it bounced off the post. But either way, stayed out. And Swarthmore controlling here, looking to get out of its defensive third. Now plays the ball in the middle of the field for Bazowitz. Coming near side for Cho. Her pass up ahead looked like for Kim was stolen. Getting in the way there was Patochak making the interception, but her pass stolen right back by Fuselier. And now Swarthmore look to establish some possession as they get the ball into the offensive third, but only as far as Ritchie. And she'll find an outlet pass, and back come Gettysburg. Looks like 5-on-4 with 2 additional Garnet defenders getting back. And a good poke check from behind by Miacock slows that down. And now Swarthmore come away with the ball along the far side. Long pass up ahead looking for Cohn, too far. And scooped up by Schaefer. And she'll turn and try to work that far sideline. Can't get away from Cohn. And will turn the ball back over to the Garnet. Ball comes in, hits the side of the net from outside the arc. And it'll be Gettysburg ball. So it looks like Swarthmore, when they're in transition, is looking for Catherine Cohn. I mean, they were able to find her one time for the goal, but it looks like they found a flaw in this Gettysburg defense that they've been trying to exploit. As this ball bounces in, and it looks like Swarthmore will earn a free hit as they approach the offensive third. That was Meacock hitting it off of looked like a Gettysburg defender. But from that far outside, they'll give the ball to Gettysburg. And they'll look to break up the middle. Now controlling the ball, Brinsley Rush, but quickly met by 3 Garnet defenders. And they're able to force the bad pass and the turnover. So Stankovsky controls, runs right past the charging Gettysburg defender. That was Beccaria making a run at Stankovsky. She dribbled around her, and Swarthmore's able to keep possession. Well, of course, as I say that, they call an infraction. And it looks like it'll be on Gettysburg. So it'll be Deborah Kim putting it back in play. Bounces off a Gettysburg defender into the arc. And they'll call a foul on Callie Cho. Looked like she attempted a turnaround shot. And then a quick turnover there by Gettysburg. And that was Patochak. Looked like she was looking for Vadinsky along the near side, but there was no communication. There's a shot here saved. Rebound goes out to the top of the arc. And this shot knocked down. Besselman tries to kick it away. Loose in front, a penalty corner called. So good pressure there by the Swarthmore offense. Results in Besselman having to make a couple of saves, and now the penalty corner. This will be the Garnet's third of the afternoon. So far unsuccessful on their first 2. And running to the sideline to put it back in play will be Chelsea Semper. And so far, they've both gone to that near wing, as does this one. Putting the ball in, we have a defensive save and a penalty corner called. No, we don't. We just have a stoppage, and it looked like a foul. No, we actually had a penalty shot upcoming. So it looked like the Gettysburg defender on that shot by Meacock fell on the ball and stopped an obvious goal-scoring opportunity, so a stroke incoming. And the shot goes in from Chelsea Semper, and that extends the Swarthmore lead to 3-1. A very calm, cool penalty there from Semper, as she puts the ball in the lower left corner of the goal. That's her 4th of the season. And now Swarthmore's lead grows to 3-1 with 9:04 left in the third. So after scoring in 3 straight games, Semper not scoring in the last 2, but getting in the goal column here. And now Swarthmore with a 3-1 advantage. And that play was started by just constant pressure from the Swarthmore offense. And then that play by Meacock at the top of the arc resulted in a little bit of confusion and forced the Gettysburg defense into allowing a penalty stroke. So Swarthmore right now well in control with this 2-goal advantage. And those corners, or those penalty strokes, are extremely dangerous for goalies, because if you have shooters that can just pick posts, it's almost like a penalty shot in soccer. A well-placed penalty will beat the goalie 99% of the time, even if you go the right way. But Semper, as cool as you like, found that left side, and Besselman just had no shot at it. So now let's see, with Gettysburg having to push down by 2. I mean, still plenty of time left. You have the entire half of this third quarter plus the entire fourth. So you've got 22 minutes worth of action still to come. But right now, the way Swarthmore is playing defense, and you're talking about a defense that gives up less than a goal a game. So goals might be hard to come by. But right here, it's 3-on-6. And it looks like we'll get a foul called on Swarthmore. And this will be Bertrando putting it back in play. She'll dribble toward the corner of the arc and run out of room. Giving the ball, drawing the foul there was Oreo. And now they'll push into the arc, pass in the middle, knock down. And it looks like they'll call a foul. So this will be Alyssa Ritchie coming up from her defensive position to put this back in play. Has Oreo, but instead will try to go in the middle through two Swarthmore defenders with a pass that was looking for Charlotte Lacey. Gets the foul, and now it'll be up to Lacey to put it in play, and she'll go back toward Oreo. Flick the ball into the arc. Knocked away. And Swarthmore survives that little spell from Gettysburg. But now with Gettysburg playing 6 players forward, we'll look to break out. And it looks like they will just about, as Fuselier keeps possession. And now here comes Swarthmore back on offense. And we'll get an infraction on Gettysburg as we approach 5 minutes left in this quarter. And that foul is coming back way farther than I thought. It's back toward midfield where Meacock will take a dribble and then put it in play. Ball bouncing into the arc. And it looked like Crowley was trying to track it down, but won't get there before the ball rolls over the end line. So Gettysburg trying to quickly work. And a good play there from Van Horace, getting her stick in the way and causing the turnover with the foul at midfield. Swarthmore here just passing around the back. Not much pressure. Now Stankovsky dribbles forward. Nearly has it taken away. Is able to push it forward just a little bit. No foul called. And now back comes Gettysburg the other way. As Stankovsky has to hobble off. And we'll get a foul here called on Semper. Good foul if nothing else, just to let Swarthmore get another defender back on the field as they were playing short there momentarily. I don't know if Semper knew that and did that on purpose, but it worked out. Now Swarthmore is able to control once again. Tough pass there. Goes into Twitchell. Gettysburg defender falls down, but the ball rolls out of play. Pass there was stolen by Vadinsky. And they were trying to dribble along the near side was Bella Bonazinga, but she dribbles out of bounds. Long pass up ahead, finds Crowley, dribbles around a defender, has a cutter in the middle, can't get there. And now Finley tried a shot, and we'll get a penalty corner. So a play that worked pretty well in the first half on the opening goal from Cone. This time they were able to find Crowley and create a 3-on-2 opportunity. that results in this corner. And this corner will come from, it looks like Semper's going to take it to the far side again. When she's got Meacock on that left wing. And once again, that's where it goes. She'll step into the arc. Pass near side. Shot goes wide. That coming off the stick of Martina Campbell. Not sure if she got completely clean contact on it. The ball seemed to bounce after it hit her stick. But that goes wide. And that corner opportunity does not lead to Swarthmore's fourth goal of the afternoon. Shots as we approach the end of this quarter. Swarthmore with 8. Gettysburg with 5. And Gettysburg, once again, after an early spell similar to the first quarter, hasn't seen too much of the ball. As the Garnet get in here, ball gets by Besselman and is cleared off the line. And that was an alert play from Sarah Scott, preventing what would have been Swarthmore's fourth goal with Besselman out of the play. And now a corner here. And another opportunity. And these corners starting to pile up a little bit. And at some point you think Swarthmore might be able to break through with one if they keep getting these opportunities. Once again, Semper will trigger it in. And let's see, the consistent play has been to Meacock. Nothing changes. Dribble pass in it goes! Samantha Meacock from the top of the arc finds the way through the defense and through Besselman. Pardon me, that was Jackie Crowley actually doing that, not Meacock. So Crowley gets on the score sheet. Her first of the afternoon, her third of the season. And Swarthmore finally cashes in on a penalty corner and extends their lead to 4-1 with 1:55 left in this third quarter. So Crowley's third of the season, first since September 18th. And the Swarthmore lead grows to 3. And once again, quickly after the goal, Swarthmore has the ball in their offensive third. Is trying to turn in was Campbell. Balls goes in and let's see, we have looks like another penalty corner upcoming. And yeah, it does, another corner. And Semper will put it in play once again. So Meacock, this time her shot blocked. Now ball bounces around and is cleared away by Scott. And now Swarthmore controls after the interception. But quickly taken away by Bertrando, who's been silent. As I said, 9th in the league in goals. Not much going on for her offensively today. Same with Lauren Beccaria. She has 5 goals, which is 5th in the league. And Alex Wins tied for 9th in the league with 4 goals. And not much going on for them offensively. As a shot here will be ruled out. And we have an infraction before the save by Besselman, as we're under 30 seconds left in this third quarter. And now the interception along this near side from Cho. But now back comes Gettysburg. And keeping that in is Bonazinga. Tried to cut in, can't do it. Cho takes it away. 10 seconds left. We'll get a foul, and Swarthmore won't really get a chance to put this back in play as we click down to the end of the third quarter. Swarthmore leading Gettysburg by a score of 4-1 after a 2-goal quarter. So in that third quarter, you get the penalty stroke goal from Chelsea Semper. 5:57 into the quarter to extend the lead to 3-1. And then Jackie Crowley scores on the deflection after the penalty corner. So the assist going to Samantha Meacock on the shot. I was unable to see that deflection at the time it happened. So it's Crowley from Meacock with 1:57 left in the third quarter. And the lead stands at 4-1. So this is the third highest goal total for Swarthmore this season with the 4. They defeated Eastern on September 15th, 5-0, and knocked off Delaware Valley on the 18th, 7-0. So a good offensive performance here has Swarthmore up 4-1. And looking at the stats after 3, shots are 11-6 in favor of the Garnet. 7 shots on goal now for Swarthmore compared to just 3 for Gettysburg. And then penalty corners, 6-2 after 3 quarters. So in that third quarter, Swarthmore was given 4 penalty corners. 1 didn't directly lead to a goal, but it led to a penalty stroke, which made the score 3-1. And then the penalty corner in which Crowley put home the shot from the top of the arc by Meacock. So 4-1. And Swarthmore well on its way with another solid 15 minutes worth of work to winning its third straight game against Gettysburg and improving to 7-2. More importantly, and this is impressive to me, whoever does Swarthmore's schedule needs to be hired everywhere because they've played, this is their 9th game of the season, their 7th here at Clothier Field. So whoever does their scheduling is doing a great job getting the home games because Swarthmore very good at home, 5-1 and entering action today, and 15 minutes away from going to 6-1 at home. But of course, getting into the heart of conference play, you won't get as many home games as they have 3 home games left after today compared to 5 games on the road. But right now, still work to do, 14-42 and counting, and a 3-goal lead. Should be well in hand, but you never know. But the way they've been playing defense, it's going to be tough for anybody to come back on them. But we'll see what Gettysburg can drum up. Barb Jordan, the head coach at Gettysburg, has been around for 20 years. The most successful coach at Gettysburg. So I'm sure she might have a trick or two. We'll see what happens as we're down to just about 14 minutes. And once again, this seems to be the theme of each quarter. Gettysburg controlling the opening minute, 2 minutes, and then Swarthmore really taking control. But now we'll get a foul from behind on Oreo as the ball gets played into the arc. And a penalty corner incoming. Good stick work there by Cone, forcing the infraction, and the penalty corner incoming. 13:44 to go. And there goes Semper to that far post to put this one in play. Now, instead of Meacock over there is Elizabeth Zach. So we'll see if... Nope, this time it goes into the middle. Meacock puts it down. Shot is blocked. She'll get the ball back. Dribbled toward that far wing. And then gets the ball knocked away. So they still found a way to get Meacock the ball. She just wasn't in her traditional spot. I was wondering with Elizabeth Zach over there, seeing her first action of the afternoon, if they would give her the ball, but they moved it to the middle where Meacock was. So Swarthmore controls at midfield. Pass from Wrestler blocked. Gettysburg trying transition, but there is nobody home for Gettysburg. Beccaria just threw that ball forward, and there was nobody making a run. And that ball rolls over the end line. So now the Garnet get it back. And this is Kim trying to dribble away from Ritchie. Now does go around Ritchie, cuts back into the middle, gets dispossessed. And now here comes Gettysburg with Vadinsky. Pass to the right wing, shot. Not sure if there was a shot. If there was, it didn't get through to Kimmel. It doesn't look like the officials saw anything because they're giving the ball to Swarthmore. That pass nearly stolen, but finds its way to Fuselier. And here comes Gettysburg once again with Vadinsky. Her pass up ahead looking for Beccaria, blocked away. And Zach will just fling that out of bounds. Which right now, if you're Swarthmore, is fine. The clock is your friend as we roll toward 11 and a half minutes. And the Garnet leading by 3. And this is what you want to see. Gettysburg having to pass out of the back. And this one's able to get through. And the ball's played near side. That was Schaefer trying to move it forward and does. This is Fragimini. Back upside. Ball's getting knocked around the arc. Rolls through the goal mouth and out of play. Harmlessly. As that ball was shot in from outside the arc, so no damage done. As it just rolled harmlessly out of play. And here, that was Oreo dribbling out of trouble. An attempted pass up ahead. It looks like Fragimini grounded or slick slide, but the ball is able to get into the arc for Gettysburg. The Garnet defense swarms. Pass goes back out, and the shot in blocked, and we've got a penalty corner incoming. So the first real good possession, sustained possession by Gettysburg in their offensive area leads to a corner. Their first one of the half. It'll be their first one since the second quarter. So yeah, first one of the half. And this will be Jenna Vadinsky on this near side putting it in play. She's got Bertrando on the near side, but the pass goes up top and a miscommunication lets that ball roll all the way back. And Oreo had to track it down. And now Swarthmore is able to break out. 2-on-4. And it looks like we have a foul. So now Gettysburg controls again. A good stick there. Taking that ball away momentarily. Now we got another infraction. I mean, that was pretty good defense there. It looked like from Hitchingham. With 2 Gettysburg players right there, she could easily defend both of them right up until the infraction was called. So now Gettysburg trying to get back going offensively, controlling the ball on that far side. And it looks like the ball played with a high stick there. And a shot coming from him, looked like just outside the arc from Vadinsky, rolls wide and out of play. So Swarthmore gets it back as we're under 9 minutes now. Pass there for Twitchell, stolen away. And then Vadinsky tried to break, and she gets it knocked off her stick. But Gettysburg still controls. And they'll put it in play as the ball rolled out. This is Scott going down low. Getting it back. Try to flick into the middle for Vadinsky. She's met there by two defenders. And they force her into a turnover. So, I mean, outside of that one goal, there's not been much there for these Gettysburg offensive players. Swarthmore's done a great job getting back in transition, a good job in double teaming. And there just have not been many options for the Bullets. So that was Ressler playing the ball ahead, but Gettysburg with it back. Crossing midfield. Options ahead, but it looks like Bertrando didn't want to take any of them and then was knocked down. Started to slip, but then it was finished off, giving Gettysburg the ball back as they get it to the top of the arc. Looked like a backhand attempt was incoming from Fragimino, but she gets it poke checked. And now Swarthmore gets it back after what looked to be an infraction on Fragimino. It looked like Kim wanted to break there, but the umpire's whistle stopped that from happening. So let's see where Ressler plays this. Looks to go in the middle of the field looking for Bazowitz. But instead, it looks like Morgan Cherry coming away with it. Trying to work on Hapgood along that far side there. And now we'll play it to the middle of the field. A good pass there to Reinhold to that back post. The ball gets down. Looks like a scrum. And a foul called on Gettysburg in there. So once again, just swarming defense turns what could have been a dangerous situation into a foul and possession back. But right there, the quick pass goes out of bounds. I mean, not something you want to see happen, but if it's going to happen in a 3-goal game in which you're the one up 3, not the worst thing in the world. Now Gettysburg with it in the arc. Backhand shot. Kick save there by Kimmel. Ball loose and poked away. And a good job there poking that away. That looked like it was Bazowitz doing the poke check. And Swarthmore stops the danger. 5.5 minutes left. And Swarthmore still looking to play offense. It's what got him this 3-goal lead. And they're not just trying to sit back and let Gettysburg come to them, as they're now in their offensive third. Pass into the middle there, taken off the stick of Finley, one of the goal scorers today. Now a long pass up ahead, and a good job there. That was Semper taking it off a Gettysburg player's stick and prevented what could have been a breakaway opportunity. There were runners up ahead for the Bullets, but if you can't get the pass off, it doesn't help much. So good job there by Chelsea Semper. And now here's Twitchell trying to get around a Gettysburg defender and gets the foul drawn. And Fuselier taking her time finding the spot to put the ball in play. Does. I don't know how that pass got through, but it's found its way into Finley. And we'll end up with a penalty corner here. .420 remaining. 4-1 Swarthmore. Once again, it's goals by Cohn, Finley, Semper, and Crowley. And their graduate student Semper, once again, set to trigger this ball back in play. Let's see which option she picks out. She goes up top for Campbell, and her shot was blocked. But Swarthmore able to keep control. And the ball rolls over the end line. But Swarthmore able to keep it, as we're now under 4 minutes left in this fourth quarter. So just kind of looking ahead here. Gettysburg looks to play it out of their own zone. Swarthmore has one final non-conference game remaining. That coming up on October 6th. They'll hit the road. One of the few times they've hit the road so far. Only 2 road games in the month of September. They'll play E-Town at 4:30. As the ball gets played into the arc here. And we'll get a foul on Swarthmore. Then for the Garnet, it's conference play from here on out. Next Saturday, they're in Maryland to take on McDaniel. On the 13th, Washington College. And then on October 16th, they go to Franklin and Marshall. So that's what's looking ahead for Swarthmore. For Gettysburg, it doesn't get much easier. They go home next week to play Johns Hopkins. And they should still be ranked in the top 5 when that game goes down next week. So not much easier for Gettysburg. As a shot here gets backhanded wide. Good backhand sweep attempt, but just wide of that post. As both teams making their transition subs. And we're down to 2 minutes and 16 seconds. As Swarthmore tries to dribble out and can't. And taking the ball now is Wenz. Try to pass into the middle. Bounces around. And it looked like a whistle. And Swarthmore gets it back once again. And this will be Semper to get it in play. Goes along the far side. But the ball rolls right out of play. Here's Cherry trying to get around Hapgood. Can't do it, but the ball goes out of bounds off of Hapgood. And Cherry will look to try to reset the offense as we're under 90 seconds. And now here's a steal. And trying to break on up ahead was Finley, but she gets poke-checked. But Swarthmore ends up keeping possession in the end. Hapgood turns it over. And now back comes Gettysburg. Slap pass into the area from Fragamino, and that's still rolling before it's eventually tracked down. And we'll get a foul on Gettysburg. That was Beccaria trying to track that down, but couldn't do it. And now the Garnet in no rush with 30 seconds remaining. And looks like this will be Campbell to restart it, and she'll dribble back to her own corner. Just chewing time away. As we now have 10 seconds, and that dribble out of bounds by Campbell might be the last action we have of this contest. And that will be the last action as the clock hit 0, and Swarthmore fell behind early, but scores the final 4 goals of this contest and gets the 4-1 victory over the visiting Gettysburg Bullets. Their 3rd straight win over Gettysburg for the first time since 1995, 96, 97. More importantly for this season, 7-2 overall, now 2-1 in the Centennial Conference. Goals this afternoon coming from Catherine Cohn, Brooke Finley with the game-winning goal, which came in the second quarter. Then Chelsea Semper made it 3-1, and then finished off with a goal by Jackie Crowley. The lone goal for Gettysburg came in the second quarter off the stick of Isabella Fragimani. That was early in the second quarter. But from there on out, it was all Swarthmore. Great defensive effort all around. And Swarthmore walks out with the 4-1 win over Gettysburg. They are back in action on October 6th when they travel to take on Elizabethtown at 4:30. They'll be back home on October 13th against Washington College at 5 p.m. Once again, your final score from Clothier Field, Swarthmore 4, Gettysburg 1.